Hi, Randy Ora with Berkshire Hathaway. Today I'd like to take you on a community tour of a community that is gated, but not really gated. You want to know what I mean? Jump in my car with me, let's go. We are driving down Golden Lantern, which is a main street from Crown Valley Parkway into Dana Point. We just passed a community on the right-hand side called Ocean Ranch. It's a gated community, very, very desirable. I'll actually post the video of that at the end of this video so you can take a look at Ocean Ranch as well. But we're driving towards Dana Point, approaching the intersection of Golden Lantern and Camino del Avion. And I point this out because Camino del Avion is the street that divides Dana Point and Laguna Niguel. Everything in back of us here is Laguna Niguel, and everything in front of us is Dana Point. There is an Ocean Ranch shopping center, which is very, very nice on our right. It also is in Dana Point, right, but across the street from us, Camino del Avion across the street there. Ocean Ranch centers on both sides. It has a Starbucks, of course. It has a Sinopolis luxury theater. It has a Trader Joe's. There used to be a Bed Bath & Beyond. They did close that, so it's no longer there. They have a very nice restaurant there called Bottega Angelina. Very high-end Italian, beautiful restaurant. Rumor is that they spent over $7 million on the improvement of that restaurant before they opened. It used to be another restaurant, but this one is spectacular. Definitely worth a visit for a special evening out or a really nice lunch. They have an outdoor patio, which is very, very nice to sit at. Ocean view from the restaurant, because we look straight at Dana Point from this location. So we're going to be making a left on Camino del Avion, and we're going to be entering a community called Bear Brand Ridge. It's the sister community to Ocean Ranch, both part of the Bear Brand Master Plan community, a collection of, I think, 6 or 7 subdivisions. We're making a left here, and the next left-hand turn is going to be a gated entrance. Now, I mentioned that it's gated, but it's non-gated. And let me explain that. There is a city park inside this community. And because there's a city park, the community must allow public access to that park. It's probably the best kept secret in Laguna Niguel. If you push the little black button on the gate will open. The hours are from dusk to dawn. Dawn to dusk. As soon as sun starts to appear, starts to become light, that button becomes active and you can just push it and drive into the community. At dusk, when it starts to get dark, there's a lockout and that button will not work. And what that does is it prevents people from coming into this community who probably won't be using the park, and it gives some sense of security to the residents. So here's that little black button. It doesn't say anything on this box, but if you push it, the gate opens. So we're gonna go in this gate. There is one other gate off of Golden Lantern. Now, the 2 builders that developed this community are Warmington and J.M. Peters. J.M. Peters and Warmington built a total of 3 subdivisions, and over the years, they've all been kind of dumped into one bucket called Bear Brand Ridge. We refer to it in real estate as Bear Brand Ridge. Yes, there are the Warmington homes. Yes, there are the J.M. Peters homes, but we really just refer to these as Bear Brand Ridge. It is a very nice upscale community. The properties in here show very well manicured streets. And I want to drive you through so you get a really good idea of what the architecture is like. Typical Laguna Niguel, pretty Mediterranean looking. They do mix some homes that have siding, that's the non-stucco exterior, and some brick trim to some of the homes. I think they did a really good job of making these homes not very cookie cutter, although it is a subdivision and these are tract homes. They're not custom, they are tract homes. The range of size in this community is from about 2,300 to 3,500 square feet. All of the homes are either 4 or 5 bedroom floor plans. The overwhelming majority are 4 bedrooms. It's not very common to have a 5-bedroom floor plan, although there are some. This street that we're on is called Fairlane, and I'm going to come back to Fairlane, but I'll take the opportunity to let you know that on the left would be considered the ocean view side, and on the right would be the obviously non-ocean view side. They back to typically slopes. They're private, but on the other side of the street, the ocean view side, considered the more desirable side, you do get some ocean view. Prices range in this neighborhood for the smaller homes and maybe some of the less desirable locations, because there are some homes in this community that back to some major streets. There's a street called Glastonbury, it's up ahead, and that's one of the streets that on the right-hand side as you travel up Glastonbury, that one backs to a slope, and down the slope would be Camino de l'Avion. And Camino de l'Avion at that point definitely has a grade, which means the trucks going up Camino de l'Avion are going to resonate quite a bit of volume, and the homes going down are going to maybe backfire. But you'll get some traffic noise on Glastonbury. That's the one bad thing about Glastonbury, although it is complemented by some views on that same side of the street. Where I'm going to take you now is to the top street called Park Paseo. I actually have a client that lives on that street. I sold them the home many years ago, and it's probably the most desirable street in the community. We're going to go right up here and turn around. This is a cul-de-sac street, and I did pass Park Paseo, but I wanted to show you some of the homes on this street. We're already getting decorated for the holidays with lights and Christmas ornaments on the homes. So Park Paseo is considered the best street in the neighborhood. A couple reasons. You probably see ahead of us, there's the Pacific Ocean. The views from this street are incredible. There's also a short little cul-de-sac up here, and I'll show you the cul-de-sac, where the key lot, the lot at the very end of the cul-de-sac, is probably the best lot location in the entire subdivision. The street is cobblestone. It's a very, very short street. That home straight ahead of us, number 1 cobblestone, set the record about 6 months ago. It crested over $3 million. And I will put a link in the description so you can take a look at what that home looked like on the inside. But that home probably has the best commanding view and very little compromise to the sides, because your neighbors are kind of situated at an angle, so nobody's really looking into your backyard very much. But that home was very, very nicely done. And again, end of a cul-de-sac, one of the best locations in the entire subdivision. So this is the park that I was telling you about. It's a very small park. There's a little basketball court, volleyball court, a lot of green grass, some park benches. Not really much of a park, but a park nonetheless, which is why the community has to remain open to the public. But this street is considered the most desirable street in the neighborhood. Next to the park, best views. It's a single loaded street, which means there's only homes on our left-hand side, nobody across the street. There's a little jungle gym area for the kids in the park as well. This home is currently in escrow, well above $3 million. It does have an ocean view, but it's a side view. The view, so if we're looking at the house, the view to the ocean is probably at about 3 or 4 o'clock. So when you're in the backyard and maybe from the upstairs, you can see some ocean view. It's not a dead-on ocean view, but it's a very nice home with a very nice backyard. I will put a link in the description so you can take a look at that. But that home is currently in escrow with a very good view, partial ocean view. But from this point down the street, all of these homes have the best views in the entire community, and they are spectacular ocean views. Panoramic 180-degree view. Price per foot in this neighborhood will straddle right around $600 a foot. There was one home that sold for under, and I'll explain why. Most of the homes will sell at least starting in the low to mid $600 per foot. The determining factor would be a couple different things. Number one is the overall condition and the amenities of the home. Basically, how nice is the house? And that will definitely drive up the price per square foot. The other thing is location. You have everything in this community from homes that back to a major street. There are two streets. Fair Lane, which I'm going to take you to now, is the longest street in the community, and it is single loaded in some areas, which mean at some point of the street there are no homes across the street. But for much of the street, the homes on the non-view side will command much less dollar per square foot than the ones on the view side. Now, the negative with the homes that are on the view side is that you have to put up a little bit with some noise from Golden Lantern, but most people feel that the views way outweigh the downside of the road noise. It's not as bad as Camino de Levion. That street resonates a lot more into this community from a sound and a noise standpoint. Fair Lane is not nearly as bad. Most of the homes, if not all the homes, have a glass wall, which is a sound barrier. You can see through it, so it doesn't obstruct your view, but it does buffer a little bit of the sound. I actually am in escrow on a property right now on Fair Lane. By the time this video comes out, it will be closed, so I'm going to be able to, in this video, disclose the price. Normally I wouldn't, but I will not publish this video until after we close. Kind of an industry protocol that we don't talk about pending prices until the close of escrow. But I had an all cash buyer, so we had a little bit of leverage in the transaction. I will post a link in the video at the end of the video in the description area for this home. It's number 63 Fair Lane. It's right here on our left-hand side. So I'm going to pull in so you can take a look at the home. It's beautiful. It's highly upgraded. The home is about 3,164 square feet. It was originally priced at $2.5 million. They did do a $100,000 price reduction to $2,399,000, so 2.4. I negotiated pretty hard. I did have the blessing of an all-cash buyer, which gave me some leverage. We also extended an occupancy after the close of escrow to the sellers, which they liked. And we offered a very quick close of escrow, 3 weeks. And we were able to acquire this property at $2,290,000. So we were able to negotiate over $110,000 off of asking price for this home. As we travel up the main street, Fair Lane, which connects the bottom gate to the top gate, on the left-hand side, there are I think there's 5 cul-de-sac streets, and I'll take you down one of them, because down these streets on the right-hand side will be little to no view. They typically back to a slope above because we came up a grade. So these homes on the right really don't have much of a view, if any view at all. And the ones on the left have a very good view. And as we get to the end of the street, probably starting about here, these do have commanding ocean views. These homes immediately to my left are going to have phenomenal ocean views and no road noise because they're positioned about 3, 4, 5 homes off of Golden Lantern. As we get to the very end of the cul-de-sac, these are incredibly desirable homes, but they do have a little bit of road noise. Now we sit quite a bit above Golden Lantern, so the road noise is very minimal, but there is just a little. So you may exclude a small percentage of buyers that don't want that road noise. That would be a really picky buyer. But these homes, this one in particular, would be dead on ocean view, and so would this one right here. And as I mentioned, there's about 5 streets identical to this, about the same depth in terms of being short cul-de-sac streets and having those end lots that they all face the same direction. So those last lots, as they turn the cul-de-sac, they have just incredible ocean views and sell for very, very high dollar per square foot. As I mentioned, dollar per square foot starts at around $600 a foot. I would say, to be fair, I would say $650 and up. the most commanding views and the best lots on Park Paseo, and some of these key lots on these cul-de-sac streets to the left off of Golden Lantern, they will command $1,000 a square foot. So a 3,000 square foot home is going to be at or above $3 million today on all of these streets. Take one more quick drive down this cul-de-sac street so you can see. Now at this portion, we're single loaded, no homes on the right-hand side. All the homes on the left, starting about here, will have really good ocean views. And these homes towards the end here have the best views on this street. This home number 2 would have a great ocean view. Number 4 here would have a great ocean view. Same thing with 6, really good ocean views. And 8, 10, 12, probably the majority of this street would have very good views. But those key lots at the end of the cul-de-sac streets are the best views in the community. So we're just a very short distance from the exit gate. I'm going to go out that gate. This upper gate works the same way as the lower gate. It has that push button entry for the residents. When you live in the community, you'll actually get garage remote controls, that clickers, if you will, that will operate the front gate and the back gate. And there's also a touchpad, so you can give guests of yours a code to get into the community. Or if it's during the hours of dawn to dusk, they can simply push that little black button that nobody knows what it's for, and it gets you in because you're supposed to be going to the park. And we're going to pop out this last gate. And we are just a short distance here from Golden Lantern. As I approach this intersection of Golden Lantern, to the left would be Dana Point, and if you take a left all the way down to the beach, you'll hit the Pacific Ocean. Straight ahead of us is the entrance to Ocean Ranch, and we're going to make a right-hand turn and head back to Crown Valley Parkway. But before we get there, we're going to stop at my office just to say goodbye. Well, I hope you enjoyed our tour of Bear Brand Ridge, one of the collections of homes in the subdivision or the master planned community of Bear Brand. Bear Brand, again, is the master planned community, narrowing down to several subdivisions, of which Bear Brand Ridge is one of the nicer. If I can help you with this community or any other community in the Laguna Niguel or surrounding areas, I would be honored to help you. Randy with Berkshire Hathaway, changing lives one home at a time.